What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Smitty here, and I got a video here. I'm basically talking about both of the blogs, the coaching adjustments as well as the blocking. The main things, I'm just going to point out the main things to me that I really care about the most. Really the biggest thing for me here is the offensive line unit awareness, because seeing that, like, especially from the standpoint of playing in a franchise mode, this is huge, because when you're playing in your franchise and you know, instead of just, because what I ultimately want to see is, I want to see the scheme matter so much that it impacts aspects like this to a high degree. Like, let's say, like they say here, the feature, I like how it kicks in once the awareness score of the 5 linemen on average, it reaches 80. Alright, now, they say that, and this is another key part too, I'm sorry, getting a little sidetracked, but an 80 rated O-line will be able to recognize heat 5% of the time, whereas an O-line averaging 97% or higher in awareness will recognize pressure on almost every single pass play. See, that kind of stuff is pretty cool. But the biggest part about it is this: the center. The center's awareness rating, counting 2 times relative to everybody else, and his rating will modify the total average up or down by replacing the awareness of the lowest rated lineman in the unit. So, what I would love to see going forward is make the scheme, the offensive scheme that they're a part of, like whether it's somebody you draft or through free agency or trade, if they don't truly fit your scheme, then it should have a real big time negative impact in terms of that overall awareness. See what I'm saying? So then when you're wondering, man, how come they're getting more pressure? How come this, that, and the third is happening? Well, that's why. You have a player that, while yes, he does have the skills, but he doesn't fit the scheme accordingly. And because of that, it throws off the chemistry of your offensive line. And I like this. This is really, really good. And what I also like as well is how they make the strength matter more than ever. Just spotlighting a few things. Like, it determines the defender's ability to disengage away from the blocker, not shed through the blocker. The difference in strength versus strength will determine when a defender can get out the grasp of a blocker when wanting to move away from the blocker. So this doesn't count directly. We'll have to see how it plays out in game, but this isn't directly counting, like I said, not shedding through. So I wonder if that means if you engage with a block, that means you can pull back and run a different angle, like try and take a better angle of pursuit away from that blocker. Like, that's what I'm assuming they're getting at with that. But we'll see how that, how everything works in that regard. The other part as well is in regards of this right here, the open field blocking. Improve logic for blockers out of screen plays to retarget less and be more decisive in going after their initial targets. This I like right here in principle. Now, we need to see how it all unfolds in game, but my biggest thing for the longest time is when you have a screenplay and the blockers run out there and they have defenders right in their path and they don't engage any of them, and then by the time you throw the ball to the wide receiver, then they're already in the backfield when you had a blocker that was right in front of their face. And yes, I would lose one member of my convoy, but I don't mind that as long as they're making the sensible play that's going on in front of them. So that's one thing. Those are like the big parts for me, as well as the running back and the pass blocking. This is another huge aspect. I love how they react to the pass blockers that shed through the O-line now that they're scanning across the line on either side of the formation. So I appreciate this, as well as how on the defensive side of things they tune the impact and cut blocking by the O-lineman, because it was overly effective. So I do appreciate that for sure. But then now on the flip side, look, if you've owned NCAA 14, this is what you're getting. Okay, for the addition of playing by the let me see here, where's the defensive adjustment at here? How you can play, like how you basically can play against the receiver. You have all the different options. As far as the cornerback, here it is, the cornerback matchups portion of it. When you have the overall speed, height, route running, and just by depth chart matchup, like this is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm talking about. You can switch on based off of the depth chart. This is huge. And what I also like is how the CPU also is utilizing these adjustments. So like I said, this is from NCAA 14 for the exception of this, which I definitely like as well. Now, this is what I wanted to just briefly run over this. And like I said, I'll have both of these articles in the description. You can look at it, go through it in depth, extensively to your own liking. But this is the main point I want to make. When we talk about these blogs and everything, I could talk about my experiences in Sim and others that went to EA Play. We could all talk about the experiences that we had. That was on a particular build of the game, not the finished product. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's not going to come down to just seeing other people's gameplay, because you're going to have to actually play it yourself to see if it's worthwhile. Because while people say, oh, I need to see gameplay, yeah, you need to see gameplay for yourself and play it yourself and see if it's worthwhile. That, I'm not saying you necessarily have to buy the game either. Rent it, whatever it is you need to do. Rent, go over to a friend's house. If they have it set up on at GameStop or wherever and you can play it, go ahead and play it. See if the game is truly worthwhile to you personally. And if it is, then go ahead and make that purchase. But the key thing here overall is, how is all this stuff going to function at launch? Execution. You know what I'm saying? Core gameplay and innovative efficiency. This is the innovative stuff that we're talking about. All these blogs, the MUT squads, everything. That's the innovative aspect. And we're talking about core gameplay elements and stuff here and what they did to innovate and revamp things, as well as fix things. But the efficiency of it all, that's going to be the critical part. And of course, after that first month of the game coming out, what's going to happen? Yes, we have the 3 different play styles segmented. You got your arcade, you got your competitive, and you have your simulation styles. But what are people going to complain about? How are they going to complain? And not just complain, but give feedback and things like that. So we're not just talking about people that complain because they may not be able to do what they want to do, but also because of the feedback. We need genuine feedback to make sure that these play styles and things like that are not rendered quote unquote broken due to what someone may have to say or a group of people may feel in regards of a competitive setting or a simulation setting. Okay, so it's going to be real critical for the community to make sure that this is the stuff we want. They're segmenting the game, so we're essentially getting the game in the style that we want it to be in. We gotta continuously press for that. So this is definitely the time to speak up for the mode you care for the most. If you care about the competitive that much, you should be all over it. In terms of feedback, in terms of what's good, what's bad, what can be improved upon, hopefully can be tuned. Same thing with Simulation Crowd. I'm looking for that on both. So I'll be on Twitter. I'll be emailing Rex and Clint and everything about things that I see and feel. Of course, and we're going to be talking about it on Sim Standard Hangout and everything. So live streams, videos, all that good stuff will be out there. Alright, but I'm gonna end the video here, guys. Let your thoughts be known in the comment section below. If you're not already subbed, hit that sub button as well, and I definitely would appreciate it as well, because like I said, I got a lot more content coming for you guys in these coming weeks and months, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So until next time, y'all, you guys take care, be safe, God bless, peace.